In the last general election, I endeavored to pass this message. Unfortunately, it fell on deaf ears and was lost in the noise of insults, character assassinations, myths and stories of dynasties and hustlers, and so on.
Kuna ile chama ingine ambayo inaenda kuzinduliwa na kupeanwa kwa mwingine. Hiyo chama inakuja kuvunja kitu hapa mlima. Ukweli wa maneno? Na lakini inawaambia hiyo ndio sababu ya hiyo chama kuundwa. Sababu maadui wote wa mkubwa wetu wameingizwa kwa hiyo chama.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak right now, the National Delegates Convention for the Jubilee Party is currently happening, where President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, the former President of the Republic of Kenya, being the Jubilee Party leaders, addressed some concerns and issues within the party, where he has gone ahead to declare that the party will be fielding a presidential candidate come the year 2027. The candidate that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta has fronted is none other than Fred Matiangi. But one thing though has happened within the Jubilee Party. Uhuru has failed to recognize or hand over the party leadership to Matiangi to become the Jubilee Party leader. As we know, Matiangi currently is preparing for the 2027 general election as a presidential candidate. But one thing for sure is that Matiangi has not been involved with any party. There has been rumors that Matiangi would have actually been handed over the roles as the chairman of the Jubilee Party or the deputy chairman. But Uhuru has only recognized him as the Jubilee flag bearer come the year 2027, but with no authority over the party. Apart from that, as Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and the Jubilee delegates hold the National Delegates Convention today, another delegate convention is happening today, which is a meeting that is currently happening within the United Opposition, where all the officials from the United Opposition except Fred Matiangi are currently meeting for the national delegates meeting of the PLP party, the People's Liberation Party, led by Martha Karua, where chiefs from the opposition or from the United Opposition led by Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, Martha Karua, Eugene Wamalwa are all there to actually hear their views on how they are going to work together as a united front ahead of the 2027 general election. Now, this is contrary to what is happening with Jubilee. Now, there are some things that have been happening lately. As you have seen in the clips that we have begun the video with, those are different sentiments made by leaders within the United Opposition suggesting that Matiangi, if he is for sure a truthful man and a man that wants at least a piece of the cake or a negotiation part within the United Opposition table, he, Fred Matiangi, should not accept the role that Jubilee is adding over to him, because they believe that Jubilee is a party that has been compromised to the latter. It's a party that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta together with William Ruto are working together to divide or tame the influence of Gachagua's DCP party within the Mount Kenya region. Now, I fail to understand why should they point out Jubilee party as a party that is against the United Opposition, or a party that is preparing to make sure that the United Opposition doesn't secure a win in the 2027 general election for the presidency. Because as Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was speaking today during the National Jubilee delegates, Uhuru pointed out some certain concerns of how things that he had worked so hard during his administration to keep the country stable, more so on matters like health and education, have all been eroded by the narratives of the hustler narrative, and the innuendos of President William Ruto through this administration, Uhuru said that things like Linda Mama were all eroded due to the corruption that has been led by President William Ruto. So I ask myself this question. A person like Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who was on the front line opposing William Ruto for the longest time possible, how come that we are being told that this man is actually currently compromised and that people shouldn't follow anything that Uhuru says or anybody that Uhuru supports? Because yesterday, one Cleophas Malala went ahead to hit out at Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta completely and the Jubilee Party, warning Matiangi of associating himself with the said party because the party's main goal is to win the Mount Kenya region or divide the Mount Kenya region ahead of the 2027 general election to make sure that the united opposition doesn't have a chance at the presidency. Now the question is, who is telling the truth here? Yes, we know Jubilee is a party that has been affiliated with the Mount Kenya region for so long. But the party lost its meaning and its cause within the Mount Kenya region. But with the return of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to re-energize the party, gives the party a chance of survival within the Mount Kenya region. Now, where should people go? Should people follow Rigathi Gachagwa's DCP party or should people follow Jubilee party? I remind you, as Gachagua and his allies are currently attacking Jubilee party, there is also some other parties within the Mount Kenya region who are not allies of Rigathi Gachagua, where Gachagua has also labeled those parties as wheelbarrows for William Ruto that he is meant to use to divide the Mount Kenya region come the year 27. And those parties includes the Moses Kuria's Chama cha Kazi party, William Kaboko Tujibebe party, and other two parties including the Mwangi Kiojori party. There are two parties that are actually within the Mount Kenya region. One also the PNU party, which is led by Peter Munya of Meru County. The PNU party, remember, it's a party that Mwai Kibaki used to campaign for his presidency in the year 2007. So who should the people be? Now Matiangi has also currently been labeled as a project that the people of the Republic of Kenya or the opposition, the united opposition shouldn't trust. Now, advocate and political commentator NDEGWA NJIRU as of today raised concerns over former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiangi, dismissing him as a potential state-backed project designed to destabilize the opposition ahead of the 2027 election. Speaking at Spice FM, NJIRU described Matiangi as a political novice in the united opposition and warned that he could be used to split opposition votes. And I quote him, "Politics is not coincidence. Things are made to happen," he said. NJIRU also criticized Matiangi for neglecting grassroots politics, choosing instead to focus on the Mount Kenya. I quote what Dego said. He says, we had agreed that everyone returns to their base to secure it. Kalonzo to Lower Eastern, Gachagua to the mountain. But Matiangi has avoided his own people relying on meetings graced by powers that be. Now, NDEGWA NJIRU, a close ally of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, also criticized Fred Matiangi for reportedly leaving the country during investigations into the Ruakalat saga. I quote him, "He ran away when there was an attempt to arrest him. He went to New York and is now working with the World Bank. When he came back, his case had not been concluded in court, yet suddenly he was unveiled as a potential presidential candidate. He is not a man you can look in the eye and trust. It's high time we begin this conversation because we do not want to repeat the mistake of the past." Now that is what NDEGWA NJIRU says. Now the group of the 6 united opposition chiefs, the question is, who is to be trusted among them? Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka, Justin Muturi, Eugene Wamalwa, Rigathi Gachagua, or Fred Matiangi? As we know currently, all of them have not settled on a single candidate to become the flag bearer. Everybody is campaigning for himself, fronting themselves as a possible presidential candidate. So, why should Matiangi currently, what should Matiangi currently do? Should he stop involving himself with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta? Because him carrying around the tag of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is what is leading him to be labeled as a threat against the united opposition. Leave your comment in the comment section. See you in our next video. Don't you forget to subscribe. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.